Guardian, we've picked up a high-gain transmission. Origin point is somewhere along the coast, near the Cosmodrome.
What is up, Guardians? This is Cosmodrome Radio, broadcasting from here all the way to Titan, because we back in the deeps of this crazy moon planet thing. It's a rock with methane water on it or something. I don't know. But we
methane liquid.
Whatever. Anyway, we are here with this podcast that we love, talking about Destiny 2 and all the great things about it. We are going to dive in straight into the goodness. But don't forget, folks, that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Audible, iHeartRadio, all those great places. You can check out this show. You can follow us on Twitter at Cosmodrome Radio. You can check out the merch shop at shop.cosmodromeradio.com, where we got the logo shirts and the hoodie. We still have the Guardian Game shirts up for a little bit longer, so make sure you cop that. And like we'll probably bring it around next year because we love the design that's Sim put up. So make sure you cop that while you can. My name is Painter the Paladin. To my left, we have somebody that is going to be actually, no, two people in this room are going to be dungeon hopping with me tomorrow night, but or tomorrow at reset. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But we are going deep. But to my left, we have the warlock that I always trust to hold it down in times of crisis. But one of two warlocks on this podcast that have failed to get the brand new long helmet what is required for the new div meta, but it's fine. It's fine. We love both of our warlocks dearly. Alchemy, how you doing, homie?
I'm doing quite well.
Suffer with me in comp for a few hours on Tuesday, but it's fine. We got through it. It's fine.
Totally didn't yell at you.
The sniper reticle is too small, but it's fine.
No, it's not.
Everybody's been saying that sniper reticle is too small. It's too small.
No, it is the perfect size.
I'm gonna leave that joke on the floor and not use it. To my right, we have the hunter with the most class. Somebody who is very hyped, that his favorite sword has gotten buffed, and who is excited for the dungeon tomorrow. Dave, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing lovely, actually. Look, all I'm saying is they may have just brought in one of the best voice actor characters. Evu. I might have to have a tune in the dust for a sister. I feel like a dog now. I feel bad. Shameful.
You loving that Kimberly Brooks? Okay, I see how it is. Okay. Betraying Deborah Wilson. How dare you?
It be that way. Like, look, I'm sorry. Savathun said it best herself. Like, what? Soft whetstones make for dull blades? I'm sorry. It be that way.
Lord help us all. And then the cackling one herself in the back, who's supposed to be the queen of divinity but didn't get the helmet, slacking on the game as she is. How you doing, Tower? How you doing?
Hey.
Oh my.
Don't you even call me out on that. Destiny added fishing, and now I am turning it okay. Bruh. I dumped almost 1,000 hours into Final Fantasy 15's fishing minigame.
Oh my god.
You have no fucking clue how happy I am. Destiny is a real RPG.
I'm so sad. I'm so sad. Now watch when when Final Shape comes out, you lose the fishing and you'll be depressed.
They're gonna have to keep it in there. They're gonna have to keep it in there.
Panda, I swear to God.
Bro, it's a seasonal mechanic. They're not gonna leave it in the game.
I know.
It's gonna have to be like the Good Boy Protocol. They gotta bring it back.
You gotta break my heart like that, man. Come on.
But whoever at Bungie, I will say this: whoever at Bungie decided to tie the freaking fishing holes to the public events, can we talk? Because I was at max focus today before I went to work and was just fishing a little bit before I went into work, and literally a public event started, and I'm like, I just lost all this focus. And now I have it's so sad, man. I'm so,
there's a trick to that.
Yeah, I saw Cheese Forever's video. I don't care. But in terms of like just in general, heck, the one thing that I really don't like is the fact that the minute like just in general, the minute that a public event starts, like the whole fishing hole disappears. I like because it was yesterday, I believe, I went to Nessus before work and was just driving around, looking around for the fishing hole, not realizing the public event was going on and that it was tied to public events. And then I finally looked on YouTube and when someone drove over to it, I drove to the spot. And then I looked at the description of the thing and said, "Oh, if public events are active, you can be thing." I'm like, "Wow!"
Yeah. They tied it to that, so you have a chance, one, to take a break, and two, if you're low on bait, or if you have no bait, that allows you the chance to get more bait, so that way you can actually get decent fish.
Yeah.
It's all connected to activities.
But what if I got 500 bait and I don't need no bait? This is some booty meat. But it's fine.
But that doesn't mean you don't need a break. You got to rest your eyes. That's the whole thing.
Nah,
you
man,
know how hard it is.
All I need is a button. All I need is the button to throw the line. That's all I need. But it's fine. It's fine. But let's go ahead and dig into first impressions here, folks. First impressions. First week of the season of the deep. We are balls deep in Titan. We are here back with we are happily back with Deputy Commander Sloan, who's a little bit taken, but it's fine. She's alive. Shout out to my man Drifter for coming in and helping out with the fish stuff. Very clutch.
Shout out to the GOAT.
Yeah, shout out to the GOAT. Shout out to the GOAT. Shout out to the greatest Titan who ever lived, Saint 14, for giving us some great gay rage off the rip. When Sivu Arath pulled up talking shit, he was like, where you at? Let's go. I'll rip you limb from limb. I'm like, let's go. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. She and also shout out to Kimberly, but despite Davis simping in the corner, shout out to Kimberly.
Don't judge me. We don't kink shame here.
No, we ain't kink shaming. But shout out to Kimberly Brooks for joining the Destiny 2 family as the Hive God of War Zivu Arath. We've needed to get something, to get some vocals from you for a minute. I was shook. I was like, oh, we finally given Zivu audio. Oh shit, I'm here for it. So this is gonna be hype. I'm excited to see what happens. First mission was really dope. I really dug just being back on Titan, really was feeling it and whatnot. I enjoyed that despite Zavala freaking out, Drifter pulled us up and was like, hey, yo, I don't want to see you die. Here's this little thing, this contraption to breathe underwater. And they don't even give it a name. They're just like, hey, it's a device. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'm not even gonna question it. It's a device. It's fine. And and then apparently Sloan has a better one that we can use instead of the one that Drifter gave us. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And now we just down here collecting egregore coral and shit from the bottom of the methane liquid seas and whatnot. Looks like a BioShock level down here in these streets. Once again, shout out to whatever dev keeps naming these seasonal activity bosses, because similar to the Season of the Plunder where they had varied pirate names, freaking the servitor was named Jaws, and I was cracking up. So whoever's the naming department and whoever named each individual fish for when you're fishing, y'all need an award, because some of them fish names were just on point. I was cracking up. It's there was one specifically that I remember. It was tied to Salvager Salvo, but it was Salvager something. I was smiling. It was a good time.
Salvager Salmon.
That's what it was. It was Salvager Salmon. I was cracking up. But the gameplay
my favorite so far is Gnawing Hungar.
Jesus. But so the gameplay loop is very much fun. I'm excited to see how the rest of the season goes.
Except for the clan issues.
Yeah. The past 2 days specifically, clan systems have been have been causing major issues with the game ever since the patch went live. the first big like upset of the season was the fact that the game, rather than being down for the hour and a half prior to the patch that Bungie had told everyone, the game ended up being down for 3 hours even post patch, which had people very discouraged about the season. And then yesterday they had to disable clans for the first time ever because of some back-end issues. And then today they had to disable clans again because of a back-end issue. So and I was like, to anybody who's in a Facebook group or an LFG or in the forums, if you are like saying, hey, I need a new clan, I was kicked from my clan, please stop. Like, you don't need a new clan. Everyone's clans are messed up right now. Like, just hit up your clan leader and be like, hey, like, what's going on? They'll tell you, hey, check Twitter. The clans are down. Like, I know there's a good chunk of the community that just doesn't check Twitter and doesn't check, like, normal memes, how Bungie communicates with us, but clans are down. Like, it's okay. Like, I there were so many people in like the Facebook groups today just going, I need a clan, and we're like, no, you don't.
No, you don't. You didn't get kicked. You're not booted. You're fine.
There was even one like one of our newer members who was like, hey, I got kicked, and I'm like, no, you didn't. It's fine. Even Alchemy today was like, hey, I removed the clan. I'm like, let me check Twitter. I checked Twitter.
Alchemy, you didn't.
To be fair, to Alchemy's credit, the tweet hadn't gone live yet.
Yeah.
So it was just funny timing because I checked the Bungie.net and the clan thing was down again. So I was like, yeah, it's probably just a bug. It's fine. But there has been some technical difficulties in terms of the game. But in terms of the season, like content so far, I am very pleased. I'm excited. A lot of the season of the drifter weapons, the gambit weapons are back in rotation. Yep. Some of them perk pools are lacking. It's a little unfortunate in terms of some of the weapons. I was trying out like the shotgun, the pulse rifle, the blood down. A lot of people, despite being very happy Spare Rations is back, they're very upset that Bungie tweaked a lot of the stats when they converted it from a 150 to a 140 RPM. So that's kind of a letdown for some people. A lot of people are upset. There's like the other segment of weapons is just recolored, taken versions of all these weapons, and they're a little bit tweaked. Like the Spare Rations take-in weapon is a 120 instead of a 140 RPM, and I'm like, like I don't care, but like that's cool. I just like I'm very mixed on the whole reusing of guns and bringing back stuff to the game, because on one hand, I'm excited they're bringing back old content and refreshing perk pools, especially for guns like pre or like during Forsaken that weren't always the best rolls, or like were right before Weapons 2.0, like where guns started to get more flavor and stuff like that. So I'm okay with it, but I'm also just like, you could have did what Season of the Haunted did and Season of Season of Seraph did, where you gave us like half old shit, half new shit, but you didn't do that. You gave us like half old shit and half repainted new shit, and it just like it doesn't feel right. Like, I was down with Haunted and Seraph because you gave us some old stuff and some new stuff, but like there has to be a compromise in some degree from like that. Like I'm very much down like when in some cases, but the past 2 seasons specifically, Bungie's been reusing too many gun models. Like Season of Defiance, they took almost every gun model from Season of the Lost and said, hey, it's a Marasoft themed season. Let's give them Marasoft guns. And I'm like, and then this season, they're like, let's just do the same other guns, but taken flavored. And I'm like,
I think there's a reason. You got to give them a little, I understand people's distaste for the reskin, but also there's a story being told, right? And when you look at these weapons, it's less of a they just reskinned it and gave it back. Like, think about the story implications. Like, these weapons are being taken and having this taken essence infused into them, and so because of that, it's changing their archetype and their perk pools.
Which is
And
fair.
that
It
is
is a
why.
jungle themed season, so I was willing to be okay with like some of the guns coming back.
But
Yeah,
also, I
not
understand
only
people's
that,
distaste
it's
for the fact that they don't feel like they're getting the new. They feel like they're getting kind of taken advantage of to a point,
Right.
and I can understand that. That's fair.
And like I'll even give like the argument of the redditors a little bit of like credence again with this, like especially off the heels of recycled from Season of the Lost Weapons from last season, and then on top of that, almost every Lightfall gun model being from Shadowkeep but just reskinned. I kind of am starting to give more like eggs in the basket of the redditors in this regard, where it feels like Bungie isn't even like doing enough in terms of like new gun models. Like I'm okay with some old models and like reissuing of guns. I'm down. I'm down. I'm not gonna shame Bungie for some of it, but like I think that there was one random YouTube video I saw where the deadweight shotgun, the like random world drop with had horrible perks last season, deadweight shotgun came back. But the thing about it was it came back from being a blue. It was either a blue or a green shotgun, like an common or uncommon shotgun in the D2 code that you can pull from collections right now, to being a legendary with bad perks. And I was like, huh?
Like the same thing with harsh language, because harsh language is a blue.
Harsh language is just True Teller, but they made it a damn friggin' waveframe. So like there's certain things that I'm willing to give Bungie credit for. Heck, they reused the Dire Promise gun model for a brand new 120 that Banshee's selling with a god roll right now. So like
it's not anymore.
Well, it's not a god roll anymore, but on day one it was a god roll. So like there's certain things that I'm willing to give Bungie, but like I don't know. We need some diversity and a little bit of more effort in certain regards.
Yeah.
Now
I can understand that. That's fair. It's. I also just think that a lot of it is, I think, just a general like craving for more stuff, like more content, and everybody kind of feels like they're just getting the same old stuff, and that's kind of where a lot of this discontentment is coming from. But the way I look at it is
games
like,
do that
if
all the
you're
time.
not necessarily, not most games don't survive as long as D2 has, as well as having like the constant flow of content. And I'll say
so that's where reskins are going to come from.
But I also think a lot of players are just like, if I'm being honest, I'll say a lot of D2 players are kind of spoiled. Bungie has spoiled us as players with all the content and a lot of stuff. Like they're like very transparent, and they're like nailed to ensure that players have an enjoyable game to play. And like content per day is like they drop 10, 15 different guns a season.
Right.
Like you can't expect 10 to 15 new gun models.
I'm never asking for 10 to 15 different ones. Like I said, I'm willing to give Bungie like some leeway on stuff. I'm definitely not like the hardcore people that are going like, we want new. Like, no. Like, I'm willing to give you like that. Now we're gonna talk about it in a second after we gauge everyone's first impressions, because there's a couple different topics before we dive into the PlayStation shit, because there's a couple hot button issues that hit the community.
Dear.
So we're gonna dig into that. But Tower, how are your first impressions of Season of the Deep going?
You know me, I love anything that has Drifter. But I also really, really like the gameplay loop this season. I like that the deep dive is replayable rather than a single additional mission that you do each week. I like that it's replayable from jump, and you can go in and get extra, chests and stuff like that with keys. I am really excited because one of the things I noticed when looking in the triumphs and stuff is that there are different levels to the deep dive portion of the gameplay loop. And so that means we're going to be going down like deep, like fucking Mariana Trench deep, and that's going to be really fun to see. I really love Asa. Asa is my new favorite, like, companion-ish character. And for those who haven't seen it yet, Asa is the long girl in the soup that Drifter talked about during Season of Arrivals. I love just going through the little portal and just sitting in front of her and just like chilling. I love that Sloane is back. I am scared for the implications of her being slightly taken. I am terrified that all the stuff that we're supposed to be working may not, or we're supposed to be doing may not work. But I'm really excited to see what happens.
I'm a little worried she's gonna end up dead. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
They said her ghost is around, but I'm worried that I'm worried.
Oh yeah. I love her ghost name, by the way, and I apologize to anyone who speaks Irish. Her name is Shakan, which means peace in Irish.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that.
Yes, but it's because it's Irish, it's not spelled the way it sounds. It's actually Sionchan, Shahan.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. But I love it. I love it. I would love to hear her voice, but I'm sure they're not going to voice her. But my fear is that, and this is something that I brought up before the season as well, in other, in like Kaz's streams and stuff like that. My fear is that she will get taken fully, and that she will become an agent of Ziva Wrath. And goddamn yes, okay, Deva, I'm not simping like you for Zivu, but I fucking love her. She is like the fucking evil femme version of Shax. I am here for it. The ship is called Shivu. I take payment in cookies and plushies. Any fanfiction writers who want to use the ship name, send me plushies, damn it.
Oh my
That's
god.
Y'all are free to use that ship name, damn it. Go ahead.
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you now. I'm gonna be honest. Hear me out. Like, look, I might have thought about going to the dark side for a second there.
I know you did. I know you did, Deva.
Like, look, come on. Like, I'm a sucker for a strong woman. I really am. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, Mr. Sucker for a strong woman, how you feeling about the season?
So far, Zivu made it. She took it from like a 6 to 7 to like a solid 9. I'm like, look, I can work with this. But I promise you, Bungie, if you kill her off in the season, we're gonna fight about it. I swear to God.
Oh no.
She had better make it to like final shape, or we gonna have some words. I am very solid in this belief.
Diva gonna throw hands. Watch out, Bungie.
I promise you, we're gonna have words. Like, look, like on one hand, I've always had like this grievance with like every time they introduce a villain or like some antagonist, we like instantly kill them and never hear about them ever again.
I don't know, man. I feel like we gonna have Zivu at least for final shape. I feel like
we had better have Zivu for Auntie Zivu for like the rest of the season, or for the rest of the goddamn DLCs coming forward, or else.
Okay.
We gonna have some problems. Like, look, I'm not simping. But like,
you
look,
simping.
Look,
you simping.
As a character, very interesting.
Just embrace it. You are a simp.
It's okay to be a
Like,
simp.
look,
We all got
I
our
got,
simps. It's
I got a
fine.
little class.
yeah.
Like, look, all I'm saying. A little
It's
bit of
okay.
class.
It's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
Now
Alchemy,
just
how you
wait until
feeling?
you hear.
Jesus, Alchemy, how you
I'm
feeling?
I'm liking it, but Graviton, it's gonna be the new PvP meta.
It's gonna
Oh
get
yeah,
nerfed.
I didn't mention that.
I'm looking
Graviton
forward to
Lance
it.
is cooking. Alchemy, yeah, I think it's cooking.
Yeah,
Love
I'm
it.
using it right now, and
That thing
just
is
some elimination.
ridiculous. That thing is ridiculous. There's no way that thing's gonna go unnerfed. Is that in that new
It's pretty.
Titan exotic? There's no way that thing is.
What the
Like,
Baronade?
yeah, like I'm okay with the barrier, but in PP they gotta do something about that. It getting the aspects like Bastion and
Actually, from
the
what I've been
spin one.
seeing and what I've been testing, a lot of people, especially PvP focused players, are saying it isn't that good. So like, I don't think the new chess piece is gonna be as meta as like I thought it would be. At first, me and Alchemy were testing it. We thought it might be kind of hot, but I don't think it's gonna be as hot as everyone like thought it might be at first. Because everyone's like, ooh, throwable barricade, but like I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't know. We gotta see what happens.
I don't think people have taken into account that Trials hasn't popped up yet, and the ability to throw your barrier out there before it's there, from a completely safe place, and have that thing like with the strand aspect where you can just like suspend people. That is way too much ability. Like for nothing. Like I can't see a reason not to run that.
Well,
It's
you
just
gotta think
that
about
good.
you gotta think about it like this. You don't get the 3 Dranger's lashes unless you're using ambient leap. And so you only get 1. It doesn't have as good as tracking as it would be as if it was on like ambient leap. So because there was multiple times like I would throw the barricade at Alchemy when we were testing in a private match, and like it wouldn't even make it to him. He'd be around a corner, it wouldn't hit him. There was like one good time I threw it at an angle and I threw the whole barricade at that angle and I hit him. Like it very much, heck, there's even a couple of times if you throw it right as someone's about to slide into it, that like it doesn't do any damage at all. So now, granted, if someone like hit like say for Bastion, if you throw it to a teammate, they'll get the overshield, and like there's a slim chance that for Strand they'll get hit by it, but it's not like if you you can't wear Hoarfrost and the new chest piece at the same time, obviously, so you can't just like have a throwable ice wall, like give an extra glacier grenade. So like it's balanced in that, right? Like only Strand and Void do anything in terms of your barricade, but even then they're not that powerful. So I don't think like it will be that busted, if that makes sense.
I'm just gonna say, give it a little bit of time to cook for this community to sink their teeth into it, and let it get into a Trials map. I'm telling you, it's gonna become an issue.
We'll see what
And the
happens.
reason I say that is because just think about all the really sniping positions you can take and all the different angles that you can push from complete safety now. Because you can just throw down the barrier, peek the corner, see what's going on, and be completely safe, and no one can challenge you. And then you peek that corner, and you have a Bastion overshield waiting. Like, it is a little much utility. I'm okay with the barrier being there, but just make it to where in PvP only, you just don't get the benefits of the aspects from that.
Nah, man, that's not
From
fair.
that,
That's not fair at all. Because
you
like
have the ability to put down a complete barrier
no,
in between you and
think
where
about it
you're.
like this. It's only 2 out of 5 different subclasses that do anything in terms of barricade. It's not like I was saying. It's not like stasis where you make an ice wall. It's not like with Hoarfrost. It's not like it has Kefri's horn built into it where you throw a giant scorching wave out of fire. Like it's specifically whatchamacallit, it's specifically just Void. You can throw an overshield to a teammate, and Stranded has a small chance to suspend if they're close enough. And even then, suspend isn't that busted in PvP. It's pretty balanced because you can break out of it and you can hip fire. So I think compared to things like Stasis Warlock and different things like that, those things will be very busted compared to this chess piece. This chess piece is not going to be as hot as your thing. I'm telling you. Like me and Alchemy did the testing yesterday. Like it is not going to be that hot.
You know what? I am willing to be. I would like to be wrong, and if you prove me wrong, I will accept that. But I'm gonna be honest with you. Logistics win wars. That's how I look at it. The ability, especially in like 3v3 comp somewhere, the ability to completely fortify a lane with zero consequence and then be able to take advantage of it, that's just too much utility to pass up. And then you can push that lane and then have an overshield as soon as there to be able to shut down snipers and all kinds of other builds from complete safety now. Now, granted, the only thing I do appreciate is that they made sure that it consumed your barricade, but it's definitely going to have to be one of those things Bungie's going to have to look at. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I appreciate that.
Now one thing that I feel like they should have did, because like this is the one thing that, like as bad like if it gets out of control, I could see them doing this similar to what they did with freaking Icefall Mantle. No, not Radiant Dance, but Icefall Mantle. Because when Icefall Mantle activates, you and you have the overshield, it works the same way as a barricade, where you don't get to charge your class ability until it's gone. But we have a situation with this thing specifically where until you until you throw the barricade, it can it can still charge another barricade. But once you get a full barricade back, the grenade goes away. So I think it's balanced in that regard. But if Bungie deems this chess piece to be out of control, they can straight up say no charging your barricade at all until the grenade goes. So I think they found a good trade-off right now where if you let your barricade fully charge, you lose the grenade. But I can see them making a change if it gets out of control. But I don't think this is going to be an out-of-control situation. It might be a cool little tech, but I was watching a few different YouTube videos, and some people are like, it's fun, but it's not like OP. And I was like, that's a fair assessment. That's a fair way to look at it. So we'll see what happens with that. But let's go ahead and dive into some topics real quick. So, first thing on the chopping block, is Bungie getting greedy again when it comes to monetization? So, when it comes, and we already kind of mentioned it prior to the season, because Bungie announced that the season pass, if you don't buy it with the collector's edition, is going to be rising to $12 or 1,200 silver at the start of the season. But now, after starting the new season, people are going into the Eververse store and they're finding specific bundles where shaders are included with certain bundles. Granted, they did this for the first time last season, where they had a bundle with a bad juju ornament and a projection where there was a shader. Now there's two of them, where there's a sunshot bundle and a Quicksilver Storm bundle with two different shaders. And people
I thought there was three.
There might be three. I thought there was only two.
There was a third bundle as well, but I can't remember which one it was. But I do remember seeing three shaders.
That might make it worse. But in terms of the situation, people are starting to think that Bungie's getting very greedy, especially being under the helm of Sony now. And I'm not throwing a dog in this fight, primarily because I saved up the money specifically to buy the deluxe edition. Heck, some people were saying that they don't like the deluxe edition has gone from like $60 to $80 now $100. Granted, if you read the description of the deluxe edition, it specifically says, hey, each season you get like a treasure trove from Mahul where you get like 3 ascended shards, 5 upgrade modules, etc.
Yep.
As a little bit of a bonus. A ghost shell, like that they give you a little bit of something each season to get you started and get you moving. Granted, starting that like specifically this season, it's not the upgrade modules and stuff aren't as needed because of the fact that we are not increasing the power level. But in terms of the overall,
hey, some of us are still grinding.
That's fair. But like in terms of the overall worth, that's what they're saying is the trade-off. They're like, hey, here's some extra goodies to make it worth me $100. But in terms of a digital deluxe bundle, I feel like people's argument of going from 60 to 80 to $100 US is a fair assessment. I also think Bungie's kind of being sideways messed up because other than the year one bundle, they had specifically said for a long time that shaders were never going to be locked behind paywalls. And now ever since last Solstice, where they started doing the expansion card pass to the events, there's been a shader in each one of those, and now there's shader bundles in the shop. And it's like now Bungie's going back on their word that shaders would never be worth silver, and it feels kind of ass backwards. Now, granted, they've been making ways for older shaders to be in like playlists and at 801 and stuff like that. Yeah. But the counterpoint to that is if you're somebody that grinded every event, grinded every expansion, and you have all of those shaders, then what's the value to you? It's a very double-edged sword where Bungie is getting this impression from the community that they're looking very greedy. So I don't have a dog in this fight. Like I said, I saved up for the expansion ahead of time, so I don't like. But the thing is, not everyone can do that. There's also the fact that along with what's coming out tomorrow, this will be the second time that we've had the dungeon key system for the whole year where you have to buy the dungeons separately. And not everyone likes that because up until last year, every dungeon was included in the expansions. So everyone's starting to get this mounting pile of evidence in terms of like the more like greediness of it without more content to be worth it is people's argument. Or like, so I like I said, I'm not really like feeling like arguing this. I will give the one argument of there should be more content if you're going to keep charging more money, especially given my next topic in terms of the hand cannon mission. But in terms of the overall feel, in terms of like innovation, the fact there's no more like we don't like there's not a lot of more PvP maps. Granted, we got Meltdown back this season. That there is a perception growing in the community that Bungie is looking very greedy. Tower, you are the more casual player among the group. I want to get your thoughts first.
Honestly, I don't have a dog in the fight either. I save up the money for the deluxe edition, so I have all the seasons as well. I get the little goodie pack from Rahul. I have a feeling that with the shaders that are in those bundles that you were talking about, they will eventually be put into the Eververse Engram pool. So, you know, sure, you might not get the ornament with them. You might not be able, to, put out the money for the silver, and that's absolutely fine. I totally understand that. I'm a low-income person myself. For those who, are complaining about the fact that it's going to cost silver to get those bundles and those shaders, but just be patient. It'll probably go into the Eververse pool. They may go into the Bright Dust pool. Just save your Bright Dust. Keep grinding your season pass levels, and eventually you'll get the shaders. Yes, it will take a little bit longer, but that's okay. Destiny isn't going away. And so there's no reason to really get upset over that. What I'm kind of pissed off about is the fact that, the new armor sets that they put out, particularly the PlayStation collaboration one, you can't buy the individual armors. You have to buy all three sets. So you can't just buy the Titan or the Warlock or the Hunter set. You have to buy all three of them. And that's $60 fucking dollars.
No. You can buy them individually. Alchemy bought the Warlock.
No, everybody's saying all I've seen on Twitter is people being pissed off about how you have to buy all three and that it costs $60 fucking dollars because it's 6,000 silver and all this other bullshit. That's all I've been seeing on Twitter. That's the gripes I've been seeing.
I'm about to say, yeah, I'm looking at Eververse on my phone right now. You can buy the Titan thing, like the Kratos Titan bundle by itself.
Yeah, you just have to
Well, that's
go
weird
and
because all the people I've been seeing on Twitter are bitching about how you have to buy all three and that it's $60 fucking dollars. And I don't play Hunter, even though I love the Aloy set. Oh my
Yeah, it's called
god,
the
that
God's
looks
Bane
fantastic.
Titan. It's called the God's Bane Titan bundle for the Titan. It's worth 2,000. And then if I scroll back and go to Warlock just to confirm, so I'm not crazy, the load.
yeah, you can definitely do
you
It
can
that.
do
may
that.
be
You
a
just go,
context.
yeah,
So
you just
in
go
that
down to
case,
where
and
it says
I'm
seasonal offering
yeah,
in the shop.
I'm willing to admit what I'm seeing may not have full context with it because, people get onto Twitter and they bitch without providing context because all these people are
In
bitching
the
about how they
army,
have to
we
buy
have
all
a
three.
term
They
for that.
probably have all three characters and want to buy all three armor sets. So,
Well,
but
so yeah,
they
they
don't
probably don't
explain
like
that
that they're
context.
all worth that much money. Granted, every a seasonal ornament set has been worth 2,000 silver since the beginning. So like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't really be mad at that.
And those aren't even seasonal ornaments, they're just specials. Actually, on the subject of the seasonal ornaments,
I think those are going to
the
be up for
armor,
Bright Dust this season. So
yeah, they'll
Yeah, like
probably be up
I
for
thought
Bright Dust anyways.
the Fortnite collab was too, and the
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed
Yeah,
collab was.
but like talking about like seasonal ornaments, honestly, I was really happy that the armor that we see in the promo material is season pass ornaments and not Eververse ornaments. I'm so fucking happy
Yeah.
about that because I don't want to shell out $20 for additional Eververse ornaments for silver because that's $20 I don't have to buy food for my kid. Like it's food or seasonal ornaments. So or Eververse ornaments. So I'm glad about that. I want to look like a fucking jellyfish, but I don't want it to have to cost money for me. So
That's
I'm
fair.
glad.
David, your thoughts on the whole like is Bungie being greedy thing?
I have two opinions. I have my
Okay.
own personal opinion and I have my consumer opinion. Personally, me as an individual, personally, I believe in supporting content that you enjoy. So it's really a question of how much do you like Bungie and how much are you willing to spend on their product. And that's the real question because I play Final Fantasy 14 and I tell you, like, try $30 for an amount type money and I'll spend it because I really enjoy their product. Whilst also having to pay $15 a month just to play the game in and of itself. But would you make
We could switch to a live service model where you gotta pay a
yeah
month, like a real MMO,
A
where we
monthly
pay a
fee.
monthly subscription. We don't do that. We pay a monthly
No.
expansion cost.
yeah? So
Well,
on
we
that
pay an
front,
expansion cost for 3 months of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. But same
It's more
time,
than
different
just one.
token. People have to understand, like you have to, like if you enjoy the content, you're willing to spend that money. But also on in everybody else's defense, as a consumer, do I think that the content that Bungie is providing, do I think a lot of it is worth the price tag that they are asking? And that is a completely different answer. Because
Yeah.
in general,
Yeah.
past the seasonal content, like I really don't find that the seasonal offerings that they give are really worth the amount of money that they ask. Like,
I can agree with that.
so on that front, I completely understand other people, and I agree. Like Bungie,
Yeah, I got to agree with that.
I
The 5 week seasonal story isn't
yeah,
enough.
I will say that I think the one hot like the two biggest things that would make the price hike and the like the more monetization in the cash shop worth it to me is if you brought back old seasons to be playable, or you brought back Red War and Curse of Osiris and
Yeah.
Warmind as mission based, and
Mhm.
at the very freaking least you made the servers be stable and you made dedicated servers for PvP. And apparently the reason why the PvP dev team got dropped was for Marathon, which was announced this week. Like if you're gonna keep asking more money from a Destiny player base where we're at the end of our 10-year saga, there should be like more development for PvP, more development for Gambit, things of that nature to make it worth it if we stick around past the Light and Darkness saga, because there's no way of knowing what's gonna happen next year. They could straight up be like, hey yo, like Final Shade campaign, no, but then after that, no seasons ever again. They could easily do that, and we have no idea of knowing. So like, Al, give me your thoughts.
I agree. That's a fair assessment. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
honestly, oh, you can go ahead, David.
No, go ahead. No, you're fine. I'll speak on it a little bit later. I
lost my thought.
Oh my dear. Well, the thing about it is, from my point of view, right? I think from a consumer point of view, a lot of people are looking at the game with this idea that, Bungie should be providing a far more enjoyable experience. However, I don't think that a lot of consumers necessarily take into account like what Bungie's asking price is in the grand scheme of like gaming as a whole. Right now, games cost $70 for a single player experience. That'll net you like what? Maybe
30
on
to 40 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And for a year's worth of content, which a lot of people will probably get hundreds of hours out of, if not more, a season, you're getting that for what, 20, 15 bucks a season every 3 months. Plus, I think on one hand, seasonal content it's a fair asking price. When you assess for like inflation and the cost of maintaining this game, I feel like it's a fair ask. They're not asking for like your firstborn child or anything, And you do if you play the game now, not if you come in and dabble in it, but if you're like a reasonable Destiny casual player, I think you get more than your money's worth for a season. Considering that all the events are semi-free and content is regularly updated, raids are free no matter what by the DLC. Like, there are some games out there, the Division, where they want to charge you nickel and dime for everything.
That's very true. Bungie is definitely like very like generous compared to other devs. So like I think there's just been a couple of like stacking things that have sort of like accumulated that people are upset about. Like I think there's the dungeon issue, there's the increase in the pass, things of that nature. I think there's like those couple like because here's the thing. I'm over here playing devil's advocate. I think Bungie deserves all the credit they're getting. They're more caring than most studios. They're doing what they can in terms of a lot of things. But in terms of like the arguments being put against them, I'm willing to hear certain arguments, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I perfectly agree. Like, look, always be questioning, your the people, the next level. Don't ever let somebody get over on their laurels. But I do think that a lot of players really do like ask enough questions to make sure that Bungie's not just like, you know what, we're gonna half-ass this season. Like, if you look at the seasonal story content, it's been getting nothing but better. Like every season we get better. Now, granted, the pacing isn't always there, and they definitely fall back sometimes and have some. But considering like the amount of time and dedication that it goes into these seasonal stories and the character building and all, I think my money is well spent. And that's just for me. That's just for Diva. Diva's willing to spend the money because the way it works is you vote with your wallet. If you like something, you gotta let them know you like it. Don't just tell them what you hate. Let them know what you like and reinforce that behavior with a positive outcome. And for me, that's money. Hey,
Yep.
I like that you do this. I'll spend a little bit of money on it. Now,
Very, very fair.
you have to be like mindful of that though. Don't just give them money for doing absolutely fucking nothing. But
Right.
it is what it is. Like my biggest complaint when I left to go play Final Fantasy 14 at the end of Shadowkeep during like season of Arrival, my biggest complaint was that I'm like, why is it that we have all of this stuff in Eververse every season, but we get like no new weapons? We get like no new like real content to really like bite into. The story is just kind of like go here and do fetch quests and then come back, and you know that's what you get for the week. But now, over the years, we get cutscenes every week. We get new lore books every week. Get like a lot of content. Now, granted, do I think it could be a little bit more diverse instead of giving me menagerie every 6 months? Yes, but you know, I'm willing to give them the time and the space to work on it.
Right.
Considering.
Yep.
All right. Fair enough. Alchemy, how you feeling?
Yeah, I agree with David because it is getting a little bit pricey just for for everything, especially with the shaders being locked behind a paywall. And honestly, if they're gonna keep on doing that, they gotta introduce something that not like these 13% off sales and stuff like that in the Eververse shop. Like they need to have like regular sales in like more than like 13 or 10, like 50% off. Like let's say Assassin's Creed bundle. Say if Assassin's Creed goes on sale, the Assassin's Creed bundle goes on sale.
That
And
makes
so on
sense.
and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I think the big thing that like Bungie needs to do, like especially with the fact that there's so many season pass things in the code, because I've said it like time and time again that like if they want to give casuals a reason to start giving a crap about the cash shop, especially because there's so many like content creators who do like fashion shows and stuff like that, bring back old battle pass armors as opportunities to get stuff. Like that would appeal so much to people. Like if I woke up tomorrow and in the season of the Dawn ornaments, like the same 14 headbutt finisher was in the cash shop, it'd be on site. It would be on site immediately because that was a season before I came back to the game. Like that would be on site. And Bungie like is holding this stuff back. There's so many ways that they're gonna make the cash shop appealing to people, but they're not doing it. Like it's just, especially for newer players. I was in the subreddit earlier today, and like there was a casual player who was like, it feels as if Bungie's trying to nickel and dime me for everything after I've already bought the expansion. And I'll be the one to say I still think that Lightfall itself, like just the campaign, was not worth the $60. I think there was if there would have been more answers about like the veil and stuff like that. Possibly.
Well, I can answer to that. So it has been confirmed on Twitter by Robert Brooks, the senior narrative director for Destiny, for the expansions, not just seasonal content, but expansions, that the veil will be revealed. There are right now that dropped with this new season. There was an additional mission to get us our extra fragment that had to do with the veil on Neomuna. If you finish the unfinished business quest, you can immediately go into that, pick up the quest from Nimbus, and that they are doing weekly drops of additional Lightfall content to expand on the veil. Basically, we are researching the veil as Osiris researches the veil, and those research missions will continue to be weekly missions throughout this season, on top of the seasonal content.
Okay,
I want to speak on that.
Well, like here's
And
my counterpoint.
I called it at the beginning. I called it at the beginning that they were going to do that. Lightfall was basically chapter 1 / the prologue.
But
That
here's
they
the
were
thing.
going to be
You
bringing
may
out
have
a new
called it.
model for it.
But here's the thing. You may have called that, but they didn't advertise it like that.
No,
Yeah.
they
They
didn't.
did not.
That
That's
is
the.
one gripe I agree with you on.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Genuinely, I really don't think people think about this from the sense of a narrative. Like,
No, they don't.
from a
They don't
narrative
think of it from the
standpoint,
sense of writing a
think
book.
about this. Think about this and really ask yourself this question, right? Who the fuck knows what the veil is, right? Because nobody
Osiris
knew it
apparently
existed.
knew.
Nobody
No,
knew it
he doesn't.
existed at the end
No,
of the
he
season.
didn't even know it existed at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right, but
Exactly.
The
He
they
just
only
were
knew
like,
people
that there
that
yo,
was
knew
but like
something
they were like, yo,
there.
we need to go get the
the,
veil. We need to go get the radio mast, and we're
the
like
only the
there's
only
like
people
you.
who knew anything about that was Nimbus and Rohan because they had
And
been
they didn't
living
even
with
know that
it.
much.
But when you
All they
specifically
knew that
played the
that
campaign,
existed.
it really
It's
feels like everybody but you is in the know. Like there's been
Yeah.
like because me and Alchemy played the hand cannon mission. We played it, and like Nimbus's tone has changed. Osiris's tone has changed. It really felt like in the campaign, everybody and their mama knew about what was going on except for you. It really felt like everybody knew what was up. And like, there's that really hard scene for me where Osiris has Saint in his hand on holocomms, and he's like yelling at Saint, and then when he hangs up on Saint, he yells at you where he's like, well, you need to do better. And it's like, bro, we don't even know what the hell is going on here. Like,
Yeah.
you just woke
He
up.
doesn't either. That's why he was taking it out on Saint and us.
exactly
But it's like,
He
yo,
like
did. He
the
was
way they
frustrated
wrote
because
it.
he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
But the way they wrote it, the way they conveyed it, and also, and I, like, and to David's point about the fact of they people didn't understand storytelling and whatnot. And I brought this up previously when we reviewed Lightfall's campaign. If they are gonna say for like trying to do a chapter based thing with it, they need to say that from jump, because with the
Yeah.
past 3 expansions,
Yes.
ever since they started to do expansions plus seasons, they straight up gave you the whole package
Yeah.
in the campaign. Especially if you're especially if you're a consumer that just
Yeah.
bought the campaign and you weren't planning on buying the seasons. There's some people that jump around from season to season. There's someone in
I
our
agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. However, I do remember saying in the Vidoc for Lightfall that they were experimenting with a new way to push their narrative. They didn't put that as like a promotional thing, in their promo packages, which definitely sucks.
Yeah.
But the thing is that, and Davis said this earlier, Destiny players are spoiled. We
Agreed.
get the whole we get the whole in the past, with all the other campaigns, we got the whole book. We basically got the first page, the middle page, and the last page all in one drop of a book.
Yeah.
And that's not how books work. Not everybody's going to know everything, and that's that's the whole point.
Right, I'm not
I
saying
mean,
you guys
how
are
would you
wrong.
like it if how would you like it if you bought a book and all you had in that book was 3 fucking pages?
Oh, you know,
Yeah.
like here's the thing, like your
And
argument makes perfect
that's what
sense.
Bungie's been doing for us for 9 fucking years, is just 1, 2, 3. That's it. That's all we
Right.
get. I mean, yeah,
there's
the
a more
missions are,
complex
like
way
8
of
to 12
looking at
missions.
this, right?
But
So
nobody
the way
wants to
I
know the end of the story as soon as they open the book.
Right.
That's not how
But
books
that's the
work.
thing, though. It's
right.
because we're not at the end of the. People are thinking
Exactly.
about this
I agree
as,
with you on that, David. I agree with you
Lightfall,
on that.
like supposed to be like the beginning, middle, and end. But we are currently living and experiencing the story as it is unfolding. And from that perspective,
Exactly.
you have to give them time. Like, think about Lightfall from the perspective of this is, like Tower said, the preamble or the prologue leading into the final story. But even more than that, setting up the final encounter with the witness. But when I think about that, and I'm telling you, when it comes down to the story of the light and the dark, right? We have been starving to figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
Right? And so many players have had this headcanon of what is what and what is why and when is where. Right? And because those things weren't confirmed and they had this idea of what the MacGuffin was supposed to be, you know, when they walked in, they didn't get that, and the characters didn't give them the reaction they thought they were gonna get, you know, because we thought we knew everything because we're spoiled. You know, now we're having to unfold and learn these things over time, and unfortunately for a lot of players, they do not like the idea of suspense.
Oh no,
you know,
see,
being left on that edge.
You're making very good points. I want to say this flat out. Y'all are making very good points, but let's go back to that book perspective y'all had there for that example.
Okay.
It's cool that we're splitting up the chapters to the book. That's fine. That's fine. And but in terms of like my original point that Tower agreed on, Bungie already fucked up the book. It it really feels like we had like let's use the Percy Jackson series as a reference point for some people, or like let's go Harry Potter, but like fuck turfs. We'll use Harry Potter because not everyone's read Percy Jackson. Like it feels like we've had a set system for like from Philosopher's Stone till Half-Blood Prince. In terms of like the book has the desk jacket. The desk jacket tells you what the book's narrative is going to be about what to expect in this book, and the book has all the chapters ready to go right there. And then the minute we got to like book 7, they started releasing it like it was Bendy and the Ink Machine. Like you have one chapter here and one chapter in a few months and another chapter in a year and stuff like that. Like that's not what Bungie set the precedent of, and that's not what Bungie advertised. That's the biggest issue that everyone's saying. And not only that, the campaign itself didn't convey that. They've even said that they had to shove Strand in here. Well, like because in certain interviews there was plans to do Strand earlier. There have been reports that Strand, like even based off of the campaign armor.
No, there weren't.
I thought there were.
I've had to correct so many people on this.
Okay,
that was not confirmed by that was never confirmed by a single Bungie employee.
Okay,
that was a rumor by one of the leakers.
Okay, fair. I will eat that.
Strand always fit with Lightfall because even though it looks like string,
it looks very much like there's a lot in Witch Queen that includes that there's what be like that. But I was wrong. I'll admit that. But back to my point.
Think about this a little bit different, right? I just want to change your perspective, right? Well, Bungie is notorious for the fact that a lot of things that Bungie does is they like to, you know, give little nods and hints to what's coming up in the story, right? And so when I hear this, like a lot of people are like, yeah, you know, there were a lot of hints to Strand and Witch Queen. I'm like, yeah, because they wanted a hint of what was coming. Remember during the
Prophecy Dungeon was a hint towards
that. You also had the Dead Messenger exotic quest, where they gave you straight up at the beginning of this. They gave you exactly what the playbook on what you could expect.
Right.
And a lot of players really don't think about it. Like, I'm not saying this as a like to attack people or just make people feel stupid or anything. But when you really think about the narrative of Destiny, right? And this is the reason why I think that Lightfall is probably one of the better stories that Bungie's written so far, is because of how they're telling the story. We, as the players, are getting to experience the legend of Destiny being made, right? It's not just reading it in a book. We are here, front and center, for the first time ever to watch it unfold. We are on the knife's edge. And a lot of people, like, I can understand, like, with Lightfall, a lot of people feel like Osiris was like, hurry up, get here, go do this, MacGuffin. But think about it from the standpoint of, like, nobody knew this thing existed until, a month, 3 months before before Lightfall even came out in the lore.
Yeah,
and now you're about to tell me he's just going to get there and just know exactly what it is and what to find it and what to do with it.
The other thing is, too, is that the Destiny community, Bungie can never win with them because you get an expansion like Beyond Light, like Witch Queen, where you have 8 missions, you can do them all in 4 hours in the first fucking day, and then people leave. People bitch about how there's nothing to do in the game. The seasonal content is dry. It's recycled. It's this. It's that. It's the other thing. And then those same people who bitch about there not being any content, after having played the fucking expansion story on the first day and then not playing again and bitching about no content, now we're coming in and bitching about how they don't like the fact that they for content.
We'll see. And
which one is it?
Well, that's a very good point. That was going to be my next topic that I brought up because Salt and Grandpa brought up a thread on Twitter.
Oh God, fuck with Salt, man.
No, because
I saw how he treated you on Twitter. Fuck him.
Let's not do that. Because I actually I still will leave the floor open for Salt and Grandpa to come on the show at some point. He politely declined to come on the show currently, but he has an open floor, and he was very respectful about his opinion and whatnot because he the original argument
to me, but
he brought up an argument specifically that the seasonal content still feels dry despite them saying they were going to make changes, and that kind of goes into the argument. Now, when it comes to Beyond Light, that is a different beast entirely because in terms of your argument, because Beyond you have to remember Beyond Light was coming off the heels of sunsetting. They took 80% of the game and threw it in the garbage and then said, here's what's left, do something with it. And people were like,
put it in the garbage.
They vault garbage, storage shed,
they put
whatever.
It in the filing cabinet, man.
They put it in the storage shed for later, and when they can remix it. But in terms of they put about 80% of the game into a storage closet, and they said, here's 20% of what we had, do something with it, and then we're gonna give you Season of the Hunt, which was very lackluster for some people. And on top of that, you had Beyond Light campaign, Deepstone Crypt, and you had Season of the Hunt. So in terms of replayability, not a lot of stuff to do, I can believe that argument. If anybody is saying there wasn't a lot to do with Witch Queen, they're crazy because Witch Queen had a full package, it had a full narrative, it had brand new content, brand new ideas. It had there was a post game.
They were still bitching, and Salt was at the top of the list of bitchers.
I need receipts for that, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to see receipts on that, before I pass judgment, because I very much remember that the critiques from the community, critiques from in terms of everything, Witch Queen was the best well received package from the community in terms of everything. Season of the Risen, people can take it or leave it. They loved the guns, but the gameplay loop wasn't the hottest shit ever. But in terms of everything, people were very much unanimous. Witch Queen was a very big high for the game, for Destiny as a whole. They had a very much a good swelling of the player base, but then Lightfall came out and people were like, what is going on? It felt like a big step backward. It felt like the entire campaign solely revolved around Strand. It felt like the narrative beats about what is the Veil and why are we chasing it? What does it mean? Were purposely held back. Which even when me and Alchemy played the mission, Like in terms of like for the hand cannon, the hand cannon is legendary. When you see it on the box art, it kind of conveys that it's an exotic, which felt kind of lackluster to get a legendary curated roll gun, which that was a little odd. But in terms of the narrative, it felt like this could have just been like, it felt like one of the post-game campaign missions from Shadowkeep, where we helped Eris Morn get over some of her past trauma. That's what that felt like to me. It felt like something we would do to help get the rest of the Lightfall seal. And I was like, okay, like it legit felt like something we would do in a post game, like similar to what we did in Beyond Light.
That's what it is. Where
we had the Beyond Darkness quest line with Elsie and Anna. And it felt like this should have just been in the package. And it feels similar to when we had D1 Vanilla, and people were able to suss out that Dark Below and House of Wolves were just yanked from the programming, or in the case of D2 Vanilla, where it felt like Curse of Osiris and Warmind were yanked from the original package. It feels like this was like, and like the excuse or the reasoning behind it that they're giving is, we wanted to try something different from our narrative standpoint. Then that goes back to my original point of, you need to advertise that. You need to say it beyond a reactionary, a reactionary standpoint on Twitter. Because like we've already found out from people saying they need a new clan today, not everyone reads Twitter. Not everyone knows what's going on. Half the community doesn't read the TWAB. So like, that's the biggest thing I'm saying is there's no book jacket. There's no advertisements. There's no explanation here. I'll go back to my original point from when we talked about Lightfall. If I was somebody that like, say if I was like 16 and my mom, or like if I was 14 and my mom had bought me Lightfall, and I saw there was a fancy new hand cannon on the freaking a box art, and I was so, and then like they advertised a hand cannon, and I went, Mom, where's my hand cannon? There's no hand cannon in the game that looks like that. Where is it? And my mom goes to the Bungie forums and is like, hey, where's this hand cannon? And no one has an answer until the community started backlashing and found out like 3-4 TWABs later that, oh, this hand cannon's coming next season. As a parent, I'd be pretty upset. Or even the fact of like, if I'm somebody like that only picks up expansion base and then susses out if I want this season or that season, if I found out I had to wait till 3 months down the road to find out what the veil is, I'd be like, why did I pay 60, 70, 80 bucks for this to wait 3 months? You know what I mean? Like if
I'm gonna be honest with you, Panda. I'll be honest with you. Now, if you're a Destiny player and you only play each expansion, and you get to the point where you're like, oh my god, I want to figure out what the veil is, and I gotta wait 3 to 6 months to figure out what it is, and you're upset about that, first of all, I can tell you haven't played very much Destiny. Because I still, like, you know how long it took for us to figure out what the fuck the Tree of Silver Wings was? Like, motherfucker, you got a nod to it in D1, and you ain't see it or hear anything else about it until
you get
like
the Seeds of Silver
Season of
Wings
Arrival.
on fucking Mercury.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, I think a lot of people have forgotten that story gets told a little bit at a time in like different nods to different things. Like, you know, like look at this season. We haven't seen Salome since Season of Arrival.
Oh, you know, I made a joke last week about the fact that like people have no idea anymore. I made that joke last week, but like I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're
like,
saying.
Now the story is told in segments. Like, granted, I understand the distasteful, and I understand the need to want to know now. I get that.
It's not even. That's not even. I'm saying primarily
it's
advertisement.
It's
FOMO. It's not even the FOMO. I'm specifically saying is if you're gonna make this big of a narrative leap, you need to tell motherfuckers straight up from jump. That is the biggest thing
they've been doing it for almost 10 years. Just like Davis said. They've been doing this shit for almost 10 years. We didn't even know what Savathun looked like until Witch Queen.
Yeah, until Witch Queen.
Until Witch Queen. And they had been hitting on her since fucking D1 vanilla.
But see, you're like splitting apples and oranges here. You're saying like different narrative beats. I'm saying specifically when it comes to the package of the expansion, like when it comes to that, they need to convey not just in a TWAB or in a reactionary, because that's why they said something. They were not even going to tell anybody until the community, until even Bife said something about it. The fact that Bife, Lord Daddy himself, had to come out from on high and be like, the fact that I don't understand what this campaign is saying says something. When that big chord came down,
because he's not a writer, so of course he wouldn't understand it.
But what I said,
I agree with you in the sense of saying like, okay, a lot of people didn't know what was going on. A lot of people were left with a bunch of questions by the end of the expansion.
No, like I think you're misunderstanding me. I think I legitimately feel like you're misunderstanding me. Like in terms of the Bife thing. Like I'm saying, like if you're gonna make a narrative leap and a narrative change, like say hypothetical, if like say the Worm mission and the Darkness mission from Beyond Light, the Worm mission from Witch Queen and the Darkness mission from Beyond Light, the post game stuff. If those had previously been the way they're doing Lightfall right now, where you had to wait weeks upon weeks upon weeks in the next expansion, not in the same expansion. Like if you had to wait until season of like Kaido's first season of The Chosen to get your first set of fragments for Stasis and find out the narrative beats with Anna and Elsie. That's what I'm saying. Like if they would have set precedent with that and did it that way, and then we got to this part right here where it's like now we have to wait until the next expansion to find out more, that would have been different. But they didn't do that. They didn't advertise that kind of narrative shift. If we had to wait till the following expansion to find out more about Darkness, more about Clovis, more about like if we didn't know that Clovis was a giant head until season of The Chosen and Anna and Elsie had to give him the middle finger, that would have been a whole other ball game compared to what we do in Lightfall, where we're the whole extra narrative piece, like a chunk of the campaign is missing. And they weren't going to tell anybody about this until Backlash happened. That's what
they did that though.
They did that though.
They
told us at the beginning of.
Let me explain.
Okay.
They did that with Zevul Wrath. Our first experience with Zevul Wrath was season of the Hunt. Our first experience hearing about Zevul Wrath and having to deal with her was season of the Hunt.
What does Zevul Wrath have to do with my point?
Zevul Wrath, we are finally getting more content, narrative, and shit like that in this fucking season, a whole fucking year later, dude.
No, you're misunderstanding me. Actually, Zevul Wrath has been in multiple seasons since Beyond Light. But in terms of my point, I'm saying like because Zevul Wrath was in Season of the Hunt, she was not in Beyond Light. I'm saying campaign based.
That's part of it.
No, like
each season is part of the narrative as a whole, dude.
No,
that's what you're not getting.
No, I'm saying specifically the campaign. View the campaign separately from the season, not the thing you pay $10 for, as the campaign as a campaign itself. And the campaign as a package. If you look at if you look at Beyond Light as just the warrior, the technocrat, Aramis, Stasis, and the post-campaign mission.
Campaign as a package is what happens in the main story plus the 4 seasons.
No,
it has always been that way.
You have to pay $10 per season up until now to get access to those.
So
I'm viewing Beyond
Light. Only if you don't buy the.
I'm going to put it this way. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. Like, you're thinking about it in the sense of, like, the story should contain a complete narrative, beginning, middle, and right?
Correct.
Is that what you're trying to say?
That's what I'm trying to say, yes.
Remember during what was it? Season of the, I want to say it was, when Bungie came out and said, for us to tell this story, the story of Nightfall, we're going to need more time to develop the story and actually have it be told. And that's the reason why they split up. And that's when they announced that instead of Lightfall being the end, was that last season? Okay. Yeah, they said that instead of Lightfall being the end of the saga, they were going to move to have the final shape.
That was during the Vidoc for Witch Queen. That was during the Vidoc for Witch Queen. But what I'm saying,
but they did say that they would.
But they said that. But think about this. Let me finish though. Like they said that, and then turned around, like split the story up to like divvy it up in a way that we can experience the story being told. Like I know a lot of people wanted Lightfall to be the beginning, middle, and end, but Lightfall is the beginning of the final shape. We are starting to get the narrative.
You're misunderstanding me still. I hear you that's the point. I understand. I am hearing you. That's the point. What I am saying is Bungie did not advertise that until people had backlash. They had to come out on Twitter and say, hey, sorry for the confusion. We are going to be telling the story of Lightfall over the course of multiple seasons. Like, let me give you a perfect example, like what I just did. Think of Shadowkeep specifically, and then think of the post-game missions where you had to get the necklace and the bones and everything else for each of Eris Morn's fallen comrades. Imagine, and the same thing with the darkness missions in Beyond Light, where you had to meet up with Elizabeth in a lost sector and talk to her and Anna. But these two different examples, those are part of Light. Those are part of Beyond Light and Shadowkeep. Those are not part of Season of the Hunt. That is not part of Season of the Undying for Shadowkeep. Those are part of the package of the expansion. So then
you're thinking of it in the opposite way of
what's
what
now. I'm thinking of it the precedent of what was set. I'm taking the expansion for what it was worth and what was shown as the precedent of what occurred previously. So I'm saying, imagine if they took those missions from Shadowkeep and those missions from Beyond Light and then said, hey, in the case of Beyond Light, we're going to make you wait till Season of the Chosen to do that post-campaign stuff. In the case of the case of Shadowkeep, we're going to make you wait till, I think it was Season of Dawn, I think? Like the season after Season of the Undying, where you had to then do that content. That's what this feels like. And they didn't tell anybody they were going to do this until there was backlash. I'm saying if you're going to make a narrative shift like this, you need to advertise it up front. Say, hey guys, you buy this thing right here, you'll find out this thing about this, or you'll find this narrative piece out next season, and then the season after that, and the season after that. It won't be sold for an extra $12 with the campaign. It will be with the whole campaign as a whole. That's what should have been.
So what you're saying is they basically is basically that you want Bungie to handhold you.
No, I'm saying they need to advertise a major narrative change like that. They need to say, "Hey guys, we're not going to make you pay for it. We're not going to make you pay for it. We still have to wait till the next season to find out that piece of narrative, which is fine.
But isn't that what they've done with this whole like what is it, the mission called, where you get the new aspect? That wasn't yes, it came out as a part of like new expansion or the new season, but that wasn't a part of the season. That's just time gated till now. So that's kind of why I'm having a bit of a problem understanding what you're saying.
I feel like I'm yelling at a wall and no one's understanding what the heck I'm saying.
What I'm understanding is you're saying that this content should be a part of the campaign itself. right?
No,
But
I'm
what I
saying
am
they should have
arguing
advertised it. I'm saying they should have
is
advertised the major change. I'm okay with the narrative change. I'm saying that this is fine. I'm saying that if you're going to shift the system this way and make people wait and make the story unfold, that's fine. But in the same breath, you need to tell the consumer this is going to occur, because otherwise, same thing with my hand cannon point. The hand cannon was on the main poster. It was shown as a part of Lightfall, not Lightfall 4 months from now, not Lightfall like 6 months from now. It was advertised as Lightfall. And they didn't, and they literally had to be like, "Hey, here's a schematic of the gun, not what's come, like not the gun itself or the name of it or anything like that." They had to literally go as a reaction to the community backlash, not anything like, "Hey, this is what's going to happen," or like not a pop-up in game of, "Hey, check out next season, Osiris is going to look for more data." They didn't do that. They didn't communicate to the consumer that they were going to change the narrative system like this. And that's my big issue. I'm saying I'm okay with what they're doing. I'm saying they need to set the precedent, because if not, people are going to be confused. It literally like it feels like I'm yelling at a wall, because like if people wouldn't have got the Eris Morn missions until the next season, people would have been pissed. If they wouldn't have got the Beyond Light of darkness missions with Eris with Anna and Elsie till season of Chosen, people would have been confused and wondering why wasn't this here, and people would have been like, what is going on? But now that we're doing this now, it feels like why are
what time it doesn't matter what expansion or what time in which it occurs, people are going to be confused and upset anyways, regardless of whether it had happened in Beyond Light, Shadowkeep, or even Witch Queen, as it's happening now. The Destiny community is not, there's nothing that you can do to win with them. And they would have been confused back in Shadowkeep. They would have been confused back in freaking Beyond Light. They would have been confused back in freaking Witch Queen. They're just doing it now instead.
But you're acting as if
the reaction was still going to be the same no matter when they made a change like that.
But you're acting as if my request for them to be like vocal prior to reaction is a problem. That's what's bugging me.
No, that's not
that's not my problem. No. That's not my problem. My problem is that no matter what, no matter when, no matter how, the Destiny community is going to be pissed and confused and angry at Bungie, and Bungie can't win regardless.
Yeah, that's not even my problem.
I mean, whether they promote it or not, the Destiny community is always going to find something to bitch about. As much as I love the Destiny community, they're always going to find something to bitch about. There's always going to be those people who have something to say.
Which is fair. Everyone's gonna have a complaint about that. I felt like I yelled at a wall for a half hour, only for us to still be in agreement that they should have been more vocal. And I feel like that was a whole tangent that we went on when we were already in agreement from jump.
I don't think that they need to be vocal about everything.
Not everything, but in terms of a narrative shift like that, I feel like they should have said something. This
narrative shift was absolutely necessary, but also I think people have this expectation of things have to remain the same way all the time. If you've done it before, you don't need to change it.
Oh no!
But also understand that the way that they are unfolding and putting out this content is ever evolving, right? And so, granted, it's not a problem. It was kind of a problem that it felt like very jarring for them to put it out this way. I can agree. But at the same time, I rather enjoy the story left me with questions, because right now is the time for questions. And I rather enjoy that the story's unfolding in the manner that it is. It makes more sense narratively, and it just makes more sense in game lore wise. Why the fuck do we know everything as soon as it happens? Like, why is it that as soon as an enemy pops up, we have to exactly know everything about their origin? There's no lead up. I feel like Lightfall was simply jumping on board part of the story. For players who don't know what the hell is going on, here's your time to get spun up on the Destiny lore and why we're fighting and what it is we're fighting for. Now, the
And I rather
expectation of
enjoy.
folding the story unfolding, I kind of agree with you in the sense that okay, it could have been noted earlier and they could have came out and said it. But also, I don't blame them for not saying it. It needs to be a little bit of surprise. Like if they tell you everything they plan on ever doing all the time, as soon as they come up with the idea in their head, there won't be anything. They're spoiling their story before you can get a chance to get it in your hands. And
this has been a heck of an
the
argument.
thing.
This has been a very interesting argument. I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like I sat here and like I'm trying to convey this point of like it felt like they cut off content for no reason when they should have just left the content there, or at the very least communicate, or at the very least communicated they were going to do it, because like it felt like someone came in like, hey, why did you cut this out? And then them going, sorry, we cut it out. We did it for this reason. Not, hey, we're cutting this out and doing it and doing it this way. Then people going, why? Like it feels like the chicken should have came before the egg, or at least the egg should have came before the chicken, rather, in terms of the argument. But like they didn't do what they were supposed to. They didn't do their due diligence, and now people are like, what is going on? Why are you doing this? Because I'll be straight up, like the whole hand cannon thing, the going in there, shooting like killing all the Vex and then killing the Heartbeats and the Conflux and whatnot. That felt like that's something we should have did like the week 2 of last season, flat out. But if they're not going to do it like that, they should have said something. I'm going to leave it at that. They should have said something. And the fact that you agree with me means we should have been done with this like 20 minutes ago.
I understand your point. Let me put it that way. Yes. I understand your point.
Okay.
However,
yes.
Okay. Now,
one of those agree to disagree things.
Let me just say one last thing before we close out this argument.
Okay.
Personally, as someone who enjoys, longer chapter novels and things like that, I honestly am enjoying discovering stuff as it happens in real time and hearing and feeling and sharing in that excitement with Osiris. I feel like I'm going out there and I actually am doing something helpful to help him out, and being able to share in that excitement, hearing that excitement from Oded, that makes me happy. That really, like, that's my happy place when it comes to longer chapter novels and stuff like that. Being able to go in and a couple chapters down the road, finding out what I heard about in the first chapter, that's what this feels like.
Yeah.
It's that love of discovery and that compersion, that empathy, and that feeling the feelings that the characters are feeling at the same time as it happens in real time. I like that.
Fair enough.
And knowing that there's more to come, yeah, I'm happy with that.
All right, now, final topic of the evening. Bungie participated in their second ever PlayStation showcase for 2023, and man, not only did we get the marathon announcement, which was super freaking cool, but in terms of the like something we weren't expecting, we got a teaser for Lightfall. And
Final Shape, you mean?
Yeah, for Final Shape, sorry. What should be Lightfall. And holy crap, that's the announcement we got was super insane. So, hold on, I'm sorry, give me like 2 seconds. I'm trying to pull it back up in front of me real quick. So as I'm going through this, I loved how they set it up. They had Ikora sitting against a fire, like sort of replaying the events for folks of what's happened, and then out of nowhere, the bane of my existence shows back up.
Oh yeah.
Cade
Let the
Six.
Cade War
Cade
begin, baby.
Six has
Go.
returned has returned. I'm going to purposely put an
Back in the
asterisk.
place.
Returned. We like everyone on Twitter, everybody on every social media platform is like, Cade's alive. Cade's alive. No, we don't know what the frick is going
Even though
on.
that's our
Don't take
Cade.
this from us. Don't take this from me. Why do you
I-
want to take it?
Listen,
You just like I
listen.
just got
How
the
do we even
back.
know that's our Cade?
We don't even know if it's arcade. We don't even know what's going on. Like, that man was beat down, battered, and bruised by those Scorn. We don't know what this is. This could be, like, for all we know, this could just be Ikora's nightmare from Season of the Haunted. We don't know what's going on. There are so many theories, because if you read the lore books from Season of the Haunted, her nightmare was Cade. She never that was specifically from there. Now,
But
based
wouldn't
on
he look like a nightmare though? They pretty solidly
No, but he sure looked
distinguish
taken
what
to me.
I don't think he looked taken.
He looks
I
like he's
think
full of light energy.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
think he
like,
was like exuding like that look of like the light leaking out of him. And I'm okay with that. I think my own personal ideal is that this is where Guardians go to rejoin the light, like the light stream
That's
kind of
my
thing.
theory. It really feels like this
My theory is completely different, but y'all
like,
go off.
So, and also prior to me us going any deeper with this, specifically, like, there are no leaks talks in this discussion. There have been leaks. We are not discussing those leaks, and the fact that some of us have seen those leaks, we are only basing our conversation specifically off of what has been shown, and our theories based off what has been shown publicly. We are not discussing leaks whatsoever in this discussion.
Nope.
Any leaks, this is all me shooting from the hip.
So specific
same here.
From what I see in terms of this picture, you see Ace cracked. There has been no example of Ace being broken anywhere, even when you aim it at Aldrin's dumb head. Ace of Spades is not cracked in any way. So that's indicator number one to me that we are either in Soul Cade or we are in like him return to the Traveler, the way David described it. This is the embodiment of his soul, where he was broken and now he has to be infused with the light to be here. Because if you notice, and I'm tired of seeing it on social media, Ikora's ghost is there. Sundance is not there. So you get like Sundance, Cade's ghost is not there. And Ikora doesn't have that light energy around her either. So if you look at what specifically is going on, it looks primarily that either the embodiment of the Traveler is in Cade, or Cade is being given one last bout inside the Traveler, because because Cade says, wherever the hell this is, and you see the giant pink triangle that's on the face of the Traveler right now. This looks like we've gone inside the Traveler, and they're like on like the final thing we're gonna go do. And from what
I have a counterpoint to that, but you go off.
Yeah,
we'll get to my stuff later.
I'm about to be done. But so it really feels like we've stepped through the everything and are on the final level of what's going down. And we just happen to see Cade here, and Cade's gonna be with us for the final bout. That's what this feels like to me. And they're like, hey, we want to give people fan service. We're like the Traveler's like, hey, we're gonna give you your old ally back to go fight this fight and be done with it. This feels like the embodiment of Cade's final round, especially because of the fact that you don't see his blue eyes, you see white light infused eyes. You don't see his yellow circuitry behind his face, his mouth. You see light infused in there. You don't see electricity. So it really feels like this is just Cade's soul inside the Traveler to me. That's where I'm gonna leave that. Ava, your thoughts?
My thoughts are like, I don't know. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. I'm just happy to see my boy Cade back in the fight. And what I really picked up on is nobody is probably going to end up knowing. You guys need to temper your expectations. I can't say it loud enough. Temper your expectations.
Lower your expectations.
Look, we don't know what the fuck is going on. It sounds like in the trailer, like they don't know. The one thing I really picked up on was he said, wherever here is, I'm here now.
Yeah.
That's the important information that I think people need to. We don't know what's going on. We don't know. I honestly believe, like, we just had this conversation. Expect that in the final shape to progress longer than DLC. Expect that. The initial release is probably not going to be the end of the story. So,
Yeah.
I expect to find out what is going
All
on.
right,
And if this is going to be the thing that leads us into the Destiny 3 or Destiny 2 beyond the Light and Dark saga. They have been saying and making it a very big point that
this is the end of the Light
the
and Dark saga.
This is the end of the Light and Dark saga, not the Destiny. And that you need to get rid of the idea that the light is good and the darkness is bad.
Okay.
So I really want to see where this goes.
Well, before I let Tower pop off, Alchemy, do you have anything you want to add before Tower goes off?
No.
Are you sure?
Are you sure? Because I'm going to be learning y'all some shit.
Speak now or forever hold your peaches.
Okay, Tower,
exactly. Go off. All right, so if any of y'all are like me and you're fucking lore nerds, because I am a fucking lore nerd, if you are like me and you have read lore that is currently in the game, there is one thing that is very, very confirmed in the game. If you go into the vendor rewards for the seasonal vendor for this season, there is a ship in that has a lore piece that is talking about one of my favorite titans that has ever existed, Joxer, named after Joxer the Mighty from Xena Warrior Princess, my boy, where he is the one. Joxer is the titan that we saw at the beginning of this season's cutscene, where he was being escorted into the Traveler. That lore piece confirms in one beautiful description that what we are seeing, what the witness opened up on the face of the Traveler, isn't just a flat triangle. It is an Einstein-Rosen bridge. And an Einstein-Rosen bridge, for those who don't know, colloquially is known as a wormhole. That's from what I saw in that trailer, that is the other side of the Einstein-Rosen bridge, the other side of the wormhole. But the thing about wormholes is that they are everywhere and nowhere. They are a paradox in and of themselves. They have to exist, but it's also impossible for them to exist. And this is literal, like, theoretical physics that is being taught in universities right now. It is possible for an Einstein-Rosen bridge to exist somewhere in the universe. At least one has to exist. But it's also mathematically impossible for them to exist because they are infinite. They are everywhere and nowhere. Every when and no when. Every one and no one. All at the same time. What I believe we are seeing in that trailer is an alternate universe Cade. A Cade in which, yes, hold on, let me finish. A Cade in which, in his universe, like the Dark Future universe, he survived. Sundance may not have survived, but he did. Or one in which, in his universe, everything happened the same way it did, but But the split off is one, him surviving, and then him learning how to use the light without a ghost. Because obviously Sundance did not survive. He doesn't have Sundance. It's not necessarily that he is a conduit of the light, but like Osiris teaching us Strand, like literally a day out of having been, removed from Savathun's influence, Osiris is out on Neptune teaching us Strand. I have a feeling that Cade, that specific Cade, that alternate universe or parallel universe Cade, who knows Ikora, who knows us, who knows everything that happened up until his, separation from his ghost. He teaches us how to use the light without the need for our ghosts. That's my theory. But the thing is that he's just like because the thing is that you expect if that portal, if you just leave the portal as it is, as like a door into the Traveler, then you wouldn't expect to see a living planet where they are at. You would expect to see technology. You would expect to see something that delineates that is the Traveler, if it is just a door to the inside of the Traveler. But you don't. You see a full living planet. There's a freaking fairy ring at the bottom of a hill past where Cade is looking that looks like Cade had built a freaking home there. Like, it's a freaking living planet. So it is somewhere else in the universe. Maybe not in our universe, maybe in a parallel universe. But it sure as hell ain't the inside of a technological machine.
I mean, the way I'm thinking about it is all like the antithesis of the Black Garden. Maybe like a White Garden. Like this is because the witness called it the Traveler's pale heart. Right? We got the pale heart, and then we got the black heart. Right? And if there is a heart of darkness, it makes sense that there would be a heart of light, right? And if
Lightly
that is
implied
true,
that the veil is the pale heart.
we don't know that yet. And this is just me
We
shooting
don't
from the
know
hip.
that. That's why I said slightly implied, not
I agree.
confirmed.
I'm just saying, this is me shooting from the hip. I'm not confirming nor denying. I'm not
Right.
disagreeing. I'm just saying, I don't know that yet. But in my head, I think the introduction of alternate universes outside of Elsie Bray would ruin the story in the sense of like the foundation of what it is that I feel like Bray is trying to build here.
I'm with Dave on that one. I'm
Yeah,
like specifically with him on that one.
Really? Not
like you have
necessarily.
the
They
ascended
introduced
realm.
They introduced the probability of paraverses with the 30th anniversary. Sure, the 30th anniversary was a fun little pack to, express their love for, the games that they had been using. But Zur constantly talks about, things coming in from across the paraverse. I mean, we're killing freaking Valis Arc all over again in Dares of Eternity all the time. Where are the multiple Valis Arcs coming from?
But you
Where
just
the
kind of hit the nail.
Gatelets coming from?
You just kind of hit the nail on the head, though. Like the way the 30th anniversary, like Dares of Eternity, is supposed to be is eternity. It's like the specific pulling from wherever they want to accomplish the game. Like that's
and why can't that
I've always
be the
looked at
same
Dares
for
as I've always looked at Dares as the fourth wall. Right?
Yeah,
it's,
like
it's supposed to be the inside,
making fourth wall jokes with us.
But then you have to take into account ley line. If we're going to be introducing like alternate universes, like how does that intersect with the ley lines and the lore of all of that with the ascendant realm
The Ascendant Realm is an alternate reality. It is an alternate universe.
But then you're adding
It
in
is active in the game.
Sodermere's cat time shenanigans.
Schrodinger's
Like,
cat.
yeah, like not to say that it's impossible, because we do have Elsie.
It's a big of a jump. It's just a bit of a jump.
It is like
I don't feel so. I don't feel that way. Destiny works with paracausality all the time, and a wormhole in and of itself is one of two natural phenomena in this universe that are actually paracausal.
Yeah,
like,
we're not talking about
paracausal.
We're talking about Into the Traveler that is going to be reintroducing characters that have passed on. Like, what's the point of the Vex at that point?
Right.
Like, there's no need for the Traveler to fulfill that if we have the Vex. Like, we've done it already.
Yeah.
Especially with the Corridors of Time. So,
so what's to say we can't do it again?
Well, Bife even brought up a big point in his video of like, hey, look what happened in the Corridors of Time. We went to our own grave and grabbed Bastion. So like, I'll give Tower that one.
We raised Saint from the dead. The fucking
but we've played with time.
Paradox.
Yeah, we've played with time
Paradox
before.
Is literally a paradox. So why can't Cade be a paradox as well?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Oh no, I'm not saying you're saying it. I'm
Traveler
saying the question
as the MacGuffin to fulfill that just seems like
pocket.
Yeah, it just seems does, like maybe we're not dealing with the deck of cards here, so exactly.
Yeah, like we don't even know what's going on yet, but like I feel like speculation's fun. I feel as if we need more info before I draw any more conclusions on that. That's what I think it's in a vacuum. Your idea is cool. I just feel like we need more info before I sign off on that.
The only thing about my spinfoil theory that is currently confirmed and active in game is the ship lore and confirming that the portal on the Traveler is a wormhole. That's the only thing. When you read that lore, it describes Joxer's spaghettification in detail.
Right.
It does.
But
it really does.
But we will dive in more as time goes on. And in terms of what happens as we get more info. Now, before we end the show, I want to specifically say one thing, folks.
Oh dear.
This has already been leaked. There's already been leaks for the entire season. There's leaks from the dungeon that releases today, because we'll be releasing this tomorrow because we record the day before. If you are not wanting to be spoiled, please make sure that you are keeping an eye on your Twitter. Make sure that you are not following certain creators that are promoting leaks. We are specifically not promoting leaks on this show because we don't want you to be a part of that if you don't want to be part of that.
If you're not on Twitter and you are on Reddit, stay away from the Destiny the Game forums. Stay away from r/Destiny the Game. Stay away from r/Destiny leaks. Stay away from that stuff as well on Reddit, because it'll be there too. And you know
protect yourself. If you don't want to know things, protect yourself. And similar to Bife and other creators, we are not going to talk about leaks until Bungie confirms them. Heck, we haven't even talked about the dungeon leaks despite Bungie technically confirming them with the leaker that happened. We're not even talking about that. I could be talking about dungeon weapons right now if I wanted to, but I'm not, because your guys' enjoyment of the game matters more than that. So please, if you don't want to know what happens at the end of the season, don't do it. Now, to the leakers, this shit's getting old, man. I remember during Season of the Seraph, someone showed the cutscene of Rasputin explaining the whole shebang day one of the season, and I was livid. Granted, I'm not somebody that cares about spoilers. I relearned my brain a long time ago to like find enjoyment out of things a different way because I didn't have the money to go see every movie in the world when I was a kid. But other people still find enjoyment from like not being spoiled in things. So please respect people. Stop trying to leak everything and let Bungie enjoy their secrets. Let Bungie enjoy this. This is the final showdown. We're building up to the end of the final showdown, and like the ending of the season has already been leaked. The big plot twist of the big plot twist of like the whole narrative, the whole existence is already been spoiled. Like the whole, like everything's been spoiled of like how everything works.
You're getting close there, buddy.
I'm stopping right there. I'm stopping right
Wheel
there.
it in there.
I'm stopping right there. Like,
Bring it back.
Like everything has been spoiled so much, and yet people don't get to enjoy this because you keep throwing the leaks out. Like, stop it. Like, stop creating like all these little mini YouTubers I keep seeing pop up because they're getting their subscribers off of leaks and stuff. Like, just where I don't get it, man. I don't like. And so please be respectful about it. If you like, if I catch it in my Discord and it's not part of the spoiler section, y'all getting axed on site. Like it's not even a joke. Like, we care about our community. We want people to enjoy the game and talk to us about the game. But if y'all start doing that, it's on site, dog. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want nothing to do with it. Because like I already know everything. I'm not doing it to even my co-hosts, and I'm speculating without spoiling things because I want my co-hosts to enjoy the narrative. But but there should be I shouldn't know what I know because there's a lot that's come out that I don't even want to know. So please let people enjoy this. Please stop leaking every little thing. Now, we will catch you folks next week. Make sure that you follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, all those great places. We will be talking about the dungeon next week. Dungeon comes out in less than 12 hours. It's gonna be a fun time. Alchemy, you have not talked a lot. I want to make sure you get the first final statement. What's up?
I hope the dungeon is going to be really fun and introduce some tough mechanics. But not so tough. It takes fucking 15 hours to figure out. But I hope that the rest of the season for the rest of the non-spoiler people is good, and I can't wait for more stuff to come.
Hell yeah, David, how you feeling?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this because I always leave off with some fun for something enlightening, right?
Uh-huh.
So this week, because apparently leaks are a problem, Guardians, let's remember the game has to be enjoyable for more than just you. And I know it's so hard to want to keep all this cool, fun, like amazing information to yourself after you like gotten it through legit above board means. But let's remember, Guardians, to like remember that there's a time and a place, and there are people who to know and don't. Let's not ruin the game. People who ruin. Trust me, like in the Destiny leaks, Reddit, and plenty of other places. Trust me, there are more than enough places to find out and want to know all the leaky, juicy, fun knowledge. Keep it there so that it ruin the experience for everyone. Be considerate of other people's experience and enjoyment of the game, not just your own, and not just to be or lady, or however you identify. Don't be that person that makes other players hate the community, because I promise you, it never ends well. Like, even though you feel like you're doing a favor, people don't like that, so don't do it.
Fair enough.
And that's how I'm gonna leave it.
Tower, how you feeling?
So I got two things. One, I'm absolutely excited for the dungeon, and I am so disappointed. I have to work tomorrow because that means I have to wait until 4 p.m. Eastern before I can even load
Took
the
the
game.
day off,
I'm so
but
pissed.
that's okay.
Second, and I saw this on Twitter, and I'm kind of along the lines of Deva with, cool it with leaking. My message to the community is if you ask a dev question and they don't answer you, it's NDA. They can't talk about it. Fucking respect NDA. Don't push. Don't harass. Don't fucking poke the bear, or I will find you and I will start screaming insults and scots at you, throwing a slipper, riding my horse in full blue woad, because we respect devs, we respect NDAs, and I swear to God, they just want to be left alone, y'all. Let them make their game in peace.
Fair enough. My closing statement is we're going to find some ghosts tomorrow. And yeah, it's going to be a fun time. We will catch you folks Starside. Peace out.